you now have a canvas, a form of money, a store of value. So when you pull out your digital banknote in the future, 5 years from now, and you have the opportunity to record something on it, what is it going to be? What will you create?
GM, everybody. Welcome back to a new video. In this video, we're going to do things a little different. I'm native Dutch, but instead of Dutch, we'll be talking English. Why English? Because I stated earlier, I'm a multi-language channel. I'm not only going to keep it in Dutch, we're going to do English, Dutch, maybe Sranang Tongo as well. We have to see about that. Why are we doing this in English? Well, English is a very important language, of course, and a lot of information / knowledge is in English. So for my Dutch community, Dutch fam, I would like to highly suggest you train your English, because understanding English is like know how to count. You just gotta do it. And I know it's very difficult. Me, myself, I need to get comfortable with streaming in English, but I'm working on it. I know most people, they're upset. Maybe they didn't think the market would play out like this as what they planned. But let me remind you, the markets have been made to shake people like you and I out of the markets, so that the big players, they can get all the money, all the profits they trying to keep for themselves. With that being said, in this video, I'd like to address some things, some topics, some info, and I made some content about what we can expect in the coming days, weeks / months and years for certain projects. If you check my earlier videos, I already called these guys, but for now I'm gonna do it in English. You'll see Luca Netz, the CEO of Pudgy Penguins, and he's gonna talk about what creates value and how to create that value, what the future of Abstract, Pudgy Penguins and the Pengu token looks like, and he also talks about accountability. So do check that video. I really love what Luca Netz is doing. Amazing guy, man of his words. So follow him.
5 years from now, if you ask the LLM guys, like what's going to differentiate Claude and Gemini and ChatGPT, the smartest guys in the world, because that's just where they are right now, are saying that the value is in the wrapper. Right? The value is in the brand, the value is in the experience, the value is in the interface, the value is in the community, right? And so I was thinking to myself, I was like, okay, well, if that's where the value is getting accrued, right? Like ChatGPT is not more valuable than Claude because the LLM is better. It's more valuable because the interface is better, because it's more adopted, it has more users, the community is stronger, right? Like that's what makes ChatGPT a $100 billion business. Right, obviously it innovated things like that, but that's where the moat is today. That's where the enterprise value is today. And so you look at blockchains, well, it's like, okay, everyone's innovating on the chain. I'll let all the smarter people in the room innovate on the chain, and when they come up with the next great innovation, we'll just copy and paste it, and we'll put it on our chain, right? The innovation's actually coming in the taste and the swag and the interface in the brand, right? And so I'm like, well, if that's where the value's accrued, I think we have the best community in crypto. So shout out to everyone a part of the community, I really do. I think we have a finger on the pulse on what it means to build for consumer. I think we understand mass. I think you see that to our experience. I think part of our drawback at Abstract was I think we built too much for that new user and not for the existing user. And we thought about it. We sat down and we had a meeting. We're like, wait, so should we build for the existing user, or are we gonna stick to our guns? I thought about it for a day because I was like, oh, should we build for the existing user? And I was like, fuck no. I'm building for the fucking future. Have some vision, right? There's 100 things for the existing user. You want to go play with the existing user? Great. There's 1,000 things for you, right? When everyone goes left, you go fucking right. When everyone looks inwards, you go outwards. That's the difference between people who stand the test of time. At the Benzinga conference in New York, I told them that we would be the biggest NFT project that year, and we were. We ended up doing that. I think the last one that I did is I said we would flip the CryptoPunk. We almost did. We could have. I could have let it run. We could have if I wanted to.
You're close.
I was really close. I could have if I wanted to. I think the thing I want you guys to hold me accountable here is over the next year, Abstract's going to flip on a dime. I think it's going to be the biggest L2 by a Texas mile. I think we're going to do something from a consumer perspective that nobody else has done. Whether you believe it or not, believe it now or not, it doesn't really matter to me. It's going to happen. I think the second one is I think Pudgy Penguins and Pengu are going to break through in a way that if you thought the last couple of years have been great, I think this year is going to be our biggest and best year by a Texas mile. I think what we're going to do for the space from a partnership, from a gaming perspective, from a headline perspective, is bar none to any other year that you've seen from us. And so I want you guys to hold me accountable. When I come here next year, I want you guys to look at me and it be on the backs of, I think, one of the greatest chain and onboarding stories crypto's ever seen. And I think one of the most prolific the most prolific IP story that crypto's ever seen with what we're going to do on the Pudgy Penguins and Pengu side. So hold me accountable this time next year. If those two things are not true, I want somebody to stand up and call me out for everyone to see.
I love that. Ladies and gentlemen.
Love. Next is Kevin from Final Bosu. He comes on stage to tell us a story, what makes Final Bosu different from the rest. It's an anime IP related storytelling project, and it consists of three brothers who tell this amazing story. I suggest you to look the video because it's clearly stated in what you can expect and what they stand for.
But as he grew older, he was supporting his family back at home by sending money. He was building a house, and that dream that he had slowly faded away, right? And he grew older and older and older, and then he got the news that he had only 3 days to live. It was game over. And while he was in the hospital, the idea in his mind came back, like, I need to go back home. If I breathe out my last breath, it's gonna be there. But obviously all the odds were stacked against him because he couldn't walk anymore. The liquid built up in his body, he could barely breathe. He had to take 3 planes to go back home. And doctors basically told him that he cannot leave. It's done, right? The dream now became more difficult than ever before. This man was my father. And obviously we brought him back home, and he lived for another 3 months in Indonesia before he let his last breath out. But what I really think that his journey is telling us is that even in the final moments of life, life is worth fighting for. And it teaches us that we can conquer our own final boss, whether it's fear, limitations, or self-doubt. Because sometimes when all seems lost, the greatest strength lies within ourselves. And the reason I'm telling you all this is because each and every one of us here has their own final boss to conquer, their own big challenge in life, right? And for him, it happened in the last moment, but each and every one of us here has a whole life in front of us. And it's up to each and every one of us to go and defeat that final boss, right? And I think what is so beautiful is that everyone has their own against the odds story, whether it was me moving to Spain, 15 years, quitting high school, slept on the street and built a marketing agency, built a big business, and then moved on with my brothers, you know, after the ripple effect into Final Bosu that we're building today. And I think that stories are one of the most powerful ways to have an impact on society, right? We're all influenced by the media that we consume every single day, and that's why we want to tell the against the odds story to the world, and we do that through anime IP. That's the choice that we make first, but it doesn't stop there. We want to go on. And to do that, we needed to create an original and successful IP. And in our eyes, that comes down to having an original, unique concept that you can expand across media, that has immersive world building, high quality art, broad market potential, fusing the best of East and West, and well-developed characters. And if you look at your favorite IPs, right, like Pokemon, you have the Pokeballs, you have the Pokemons. There's this whole universe that brings everything together. For us, here are 4 of our world pillars. One is the Respawn Express. When a character dies, they're being reborn, but they lose parts of the memory. There's the growth path. Every single time somebody learns or grows, it moves up their growth path until it reaches the top, and it summons a final boss. And every single person in this world has a final boss hidden inside of their body. But the problem is that 50 years ago, one destroyed the whole world. So everybody's now afraid. Everybody's afraid for these final bosses. Everybody's afraid for growth and progress. And I would say that in the real life, it's kind of similar as this, right? And so hence, the question is, are you going to complete your growth path and fight the final boss, or are you going to live for the rest of life within your means, right? Then we have the ancient hieroglyphs and the suitcases. So whenever somebody has a suitcase, they connect it with their DNA, they get a special ability to fight back against these bosses. And we've developed all of these main characters, like Letsugo, and two of my favorite, Bull and Bear. Obviously there's a lot of Web3 references here, because we're born of Web3 brand. We got Endo, and we've done a lot of animation in order to be able to tell our story to the Web3 audience, the Web3 space. We created a lot of trailers. I invite you to go to our Twitter account just to check it out, because the quality is insane. It's all done by my brother. And the last part, ownership. And this might be the coolest one, I think, till now, because who would want to own a piece of their favorite universes, right? And we've seen some amazing stuff happening in the space with Pudgy. That's a big inspiration for us. But really what it comes down to is you have culture, anime, and ownership that you expand across different mediums, like movies and toys and video games and merchandise, right? Well, what do I mean with ownership? What does the future of media franchise look like? And I think it boils down to these three, maybe a bit more, but these three are most important. How we make media, right? Because what once was done by the whole studio, nowadays is going to be in the hands of a single creator, because there's so much AI technology that allows us to create. It's about who's creating media. There's so much fan art that's being created for all these franchises for so long already, but it never was really rewarded. And I think that's about to change. And then it's Web3. Who owns media? And I think that's really awesome that we can all have an identity and part ownership in our favorite brands. And this actually leads us to this graphic that I really love, designed by my brother over here, is on Web 2, the fans were at the bottom of the pyramid. But in Web 3, they're actually integrated into each and every part. And obviously we're still at the beginning of how this is going to pan out in the future. But I think we're seeing some really great examples of where this is heading to. And yeah, Final Bosu wants to be a big part of this, pioneering this in the anime space. And obviously on Abstract, you know, bringing it to consumers. What do we think?
Amazing. I had a few moments with him after this presentation. Mind you, it is gonna be in Dutch. So sorry, English community. This is for the Dutch community. And do check us out. We have some nice things coming up with Final Bosu.
Kevin van Final Bosu. Jeff van Final Bosu.
Een heel inspirerend verhaal van je vader. En jullie dat zo mooi mogelijk original door middel van NFT's en vooral manga. Ik heb een kritische vraag. Kennen jullie Dirty Robot met Renga? Kennen jullie de Renga collectie van Dirty Robot? Hebben jullie zo'n uitgespeeld? Heel veel hoofdjes, heel veel conviction, maar de prijs is ook geld. Dirty Robot is iets anders gedaan. Hoe denken jullie dat met Final Bosu?
Ik denk
En het geluid is een beetje...
Ik denk dat de core vraag is van waardoor gaat de prijs dan omhoog en omlaag, toch? En iets wat we in ieder geval over de laatste 3 jaar heel veel hebben gedaan met de holders die we tot nu toe hebben, is ze constant mee te nemen op een journey en iets tofs te bouwen. Uiteindelijk wil je iets creëren voor een groep mensen die ergens in gelooft. Ik kan natuurlijk nooit zeggen of het omhoog en of laag gaat. Ik bedoel, we gaan niet bepaalde dingen doen om het per se alleen maar omhoog te doen. Ik denk dat de stijl van ons meer gaat zijn in een echte grote company te bouwen. En het echt naar de Web 2 audience te brengen, ondertussen Web 3 ervaringen te gaan bouwen en dat soort dingen.
En wat zijn de toekomstperspectieven? Want als de NFT gereleased is, komt er een manga, kan ik een manga verwachten, kan ik toys verwachten, ik ben een collector.
Nice.
Wat is in de pipeline? Wat is in de pipeline?
Ja, we proberen altijd een beetje op te passen met de beloften, zeg maar. Maar waar wij zelf heel excited over zijn is script schrijven, anime creëren en het echt expanden, zeg maar. Het is, of we in Web 3 zijn of in Web 2, we zouden dit sowieso gaan doen. Het is alleen in Web 3 dat de mooiheid ervan is dat je ownership kan delen, je kan een community early bouwen en al dat soort dingen, zeg maar. Maar ja, veel expanden, man, in allerlei richtingen. Wanneer het is, gaan we het droppen en gaan we het doen.
Geweldig. Mad props aan jullie, heel hardwerkende heren. Any last words, any alpha, voor de Nederlandse community, hè?
Ja, het is raar om in Nederlands te praten.
I know.
De vraag wil je automatisch in het Engels doen.
Ja, maar ik moet zeggen, ik wil meer met de Nederlandse community connecten, man.
Ja, echt?
Ja, het is onze roots. Ik bedoel,
Ik vind het geweldig, man. Mag ik in de DM sturen?
Ja, sowieso.
Ja?
Ja, sowieso.
En ik zie jou ook eentje als hij niet ziet.
Ja, sowieso.
Thanks, heren. Love, man. Met respect. Thanks.
Next you have SeizeControl, where they spread the word of fuck fiat in a Bitcoin-only economy. It's a statement that these guys are making. Always have these crazy displays and presentations wherever they go. So check the video. I know it's not really optimal to watch, but I did my best to try to bring it over to you guys as good as possible.
Available and accessible to everybody. You've met a few people here, Brustar as well. We have a service called Inscriber where we help people come on blockchain, like come speak to anybody. It's like you now have a canvas, a form of money, a store of value. So when you pull out your digital banknote in the future, 5 years from now, and you have the opportunity to record something on it, what is it going to be? What will you create? You know, it's something I look forward to building along with you guys. Location in Shibuya in Tokyo, and we did this purely to represent rare sats.
Ja, dat is crazy, man. Maar zo doen ze het altijd. Dat is hun stunt. The XBorg IRL event. This was in Paris. And we had a few minutes with Lou. He is the CEO of XBorg. About what we can expect from XBorg. What's in the pipeline. And what you need to do if you studied conviction. A lot of things coming up. They're busy building, and me and the community were eager to see what XBorg is building with the XBorg ID protocol.
Yes, we're here with Lou, the CEO of XBorg, and I'd like to take this moment to clear some things up. We are at the first in real life event of Paris, of XBorg in Paris, and you made some nice announcements. Would you like to give us some output?
Yeah, it's gaming, and well, what we do at XBorg is building the largest gaming identity layer. So it's like this big database of player data, and our community has been very vocal about the fact that we don't catch the current trends of Web3, and that there are a few things that we miss out. And they were saying, like, you know, AI is something you have to do. But me as founder, obviously I saw the opportunity, but did not want to step into the AI fields with nothing tangible. And so what we've announced today is that we've essentially worked on it last year or so, is that we secured the initial funding to build what we call the XBorg AI Labs, which is a separate development company that's building AI products that's completely tied to the XBorg ecosystem. So that means that what's to come now is like pure play AI product will be tied to the XBorg data layer.
And what does it mean for the community? What does the AI bring?
Well, that means one is fitting into a trend. So, you've asked earlier, like, why is XBT down? It's like, today, not really, people are not really interested in Web3 gaming. People are interested in AI specifically. That's like a secular trend. And so one is like, meaning that there will be more investors who will be interested in XBG as a token. Second is it means more products. More products means more revenues, like opportunities for revenues, more growth, more data that we ingest from the network. Like the way it works at XBorg is our number one goal is to build this large database of player data. So the more products we have, the more data we have. The more data we have, the more we can monetize the data layer. And so at the end of the day, the more beneficial it is for XBorg as a company, but then for XBG as well.
Okay, so you're saying you gotta double down on these prices?
It's we've been in crypto and we've funded XBorg in the bear market in 2022, and that's been like very rough times. Everyone that bets during those rough times got like insane returns, whether that's the people that invested in the Prometheus NFT or the people that got in super early on the XBG token. So it's crypto, you have to expect ups and downs, but the ones that make it in the end are the ones that believe in the technology and that invest when no one is willing to invest. And so I can say today the investment, no one's willing to invest in Web3 gaming specifically. Now we've just announced an AI product. I'm not saying XBG is going to 10x tomorrow, but I'm saying like fundamentally, I think it's a great value play here if you're looking to invest in altcoins.
Okay. With the community, we're a big believer of XBorg. Yes, we studied conviction. We're holding at least more than 1.2 million tokens of XBorg.
That's a big bag.
That's a pretty big bag. When tier 1 listing? It's not that we're gonna dump or something.
No, community's been very vocal about sex listings. We've held a very different speech, which is like we don't like. Community thinks like sex is super bullish and that everything's going to go to the moon. I agree on Binance and Coinbase. I can tell that we're in contact with the head of listing of the top tier exchanges, and that includes Binance and includes Coinbase. So we're in touch with them. It's not like we're not in the process. We want to wait for the right time, and the right time for us is when there is more appetite in the gaming space. So we essentially have the right contact and network, so that when we think the timing is right, is when we want to list the exchanges. So it's going to be within Q1 or Q2 of this year, and it's going to increase the distribution of the token. Today we have about 25,000 holders, and getting on Binance or Coinbase is going to help us get to like token holders. But again, we want to take the right time for it. Market's clearly shown that it's not that beneficial if you push it too early, and you want to wait for the right time. So whenever people are bullish on gaming and AI X gaming, which is where we fall as of today, is what we want to double down on invest in. But we will be on Hyperliquid, so
it's already approved.
We put the spot for Hyperliquid. Hyperliquid is like the fastest growing exchange. Is going to be also a chain, and we're super bullish on there. There's only about 50 spots a year, and we've secured one of them, so it's going to bring great liquidity and great holder base to the XBG.
Nice, man. Any last words, Lou?
Well, first, like, if you hold like large bags, obviously, thanks so much. I know, I get some DMs of like people saying, what should I do with my bags? It's stressed out, etc. At the end of the day, if you're not able to hold, you'll never be rich. Like, you have to be able to handle the drawdowns. Whether you double down or not, it's up to you, really. But at the end of the day, you can't expect 10x, 20x, 100x if you can't handle like minus 50% growth.
Thanks.
So that's the way we do it in crypto.
Yeah, man. You heard it here first. Also, one last thing. I got a stamp. What is the stamp for? You have no clue. As a Prometheus holder, you get a stamp because you can get something.
Is it the case? I have no clue.
You have no clue.
No.
Oh god, then we need to hold Lou, not Lou, Connor, Us not, we're gonna hold you guys accountable.
Yeah, the team, like Connor and us did an amazing job at the event. That's like they did such a crazy job. I actually did not know. That's great. I'm holding, I think, 19 for me to finish. I don't have the thing. So.
Okay. Well, thanks Lou, thanks for your time.
Thanks so much.
And I'm eager to be on the journey with you guys.
Yeah, no, thanks so much for being on the journey.
So,
I know the sound is a little bit not so good. Bear with me on this. I did my best to film it, record it as good as possible, but not having the right equipment, results in not having the best videos. So I did my best for you guys, just trying to put out the information out there. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, be blessed, and I'll see you next time.